All right, Arizona Cardinal fans, welcome back to the Red Rain podcast. This is Red Rain episode 198. So please welcome in your host, once again, the one, the only, Walter Mitchell.
Thank you, Kyle Little Rock Ledbetter, wearing his Christmas red out in San Diego. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. See?
Yeah.
That's going to get people really warm. I'm looking forward to their bowl game, too. That's going to be really exciting.
Being played in San Diego.
Look at that. Oh, the irony. Oh, the coincidence. Then we have resident expert Suero Sam 61 coming live to you from Mexico, where he's on break.
Hola. Buenos dias.
Dodging the Mexico cartels.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah. Yeah, like Landman. You're the Landman down there today.
Yep.
Yeah, we're ready to get after the plays from yesterday's game. There aren't too many. There are more highlights for the Falcons, unfortunately, than there are for the Cardinals. But true to form, we got to get after them. So let's start with the really good stuff that happened early. Cardinals jump out to a 10-0 lead, and things are looking good.
Well, we can start off with what might be the catch of the year in the NFL.
It is amazing. Look at this. Beautiful. Called incomplete because no one would have believed it until you run it back. I love the aggressiveness here of the Cardinals taking a deep shot this early in the game. I was hoping they'd do more of it during the game.
Yeah.
And look at Wilson. I mean, just cradled it, never hit the ground. And the good news is now the Cardinals are up 10-0 or 7-0.
And he did it. He did it against Kobe Bryant, who's a pretty good cornerback.
He is. Credit the Falcons secondary. Akeem Morris once again dialed up some great coverages as he did. He's 3-0 versus Gannon Petzing. Outcoached him and did again today. How about, the job that they did on Trey McBride? Oh my God. Jesse Bates had the best cover on Trey McBride of anyone this season.
Yeah,
and I had people texting me, hey, Petzing, what's the problem? McBride got 8 targets, but he was doubled, sometimes tripled, and sometimes handled one-on-one by one of the best free safeties in football in Jesse Bates. It's just going to happen.
Yep.
And it was a wake-up call. But, I mean, to Jacoby Brissett's credit, he dialed it away from Trey to hit Higgy Bear.
Higgy had a nice game as a result.
He really did. And he stepped up. And that was good to see because he'd been struggling lately. And, this was a really good comeback game for Elijah Higgins. And it was just kind of weird that on this day of all games, the last game of the season, Drew Petzing made strong emphasis to try to get the team's running game going again. And they did.
For a half.
I mean, 132 yards, 5.7 a carry.
Terrific.
Carter was fantastic.
Yeah.
DeMercado was fantastic. This kid, Corey Kiner, came in and ran like, Tim Hightower. And I just was really impressed by that. But I was also concerned that late, when there were clock issues and you had to matriculate the ball down the field with some dispatch, you're still dipping into the running game. And I thought that
the ball
slowed things down a little bit and made for some more difficult conversions and stuff. It's just the thing about Petzing and Jacoby is, if you can't run a 2-minute drill, you largely are not going to win in the NFL, because games are always going to be close, and you got to have guys at the end who are well orchestrated in running a 2-minute drill. And I am so envious of the Seahawks, because they had an absolute wizard at the 2-minute drill in Russell Wilson all those years. And now they have one in Sam Darnold, who pulled off this week his 12th comeback fourth quarter win in the last 2 seasons. That he can struggle all game, but somehow he gets it together at the end of games. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it against us with 28 seconds left. He got one of them there, and we saw it against us in 2024 with, him taking the Vikings down the field versus Cardinals soft zones. Go ahead.
It's inexplicable that they only ran the ball 7 times in the second half. They were moving the ball, like you said, 5.7 yards per carry. They were moving the football. Why in the second half he chose to abandon the running game and went to a pass-heavy approach, I have no clue.
Yeah, well, we hardly had the ball, too.
Well, that's for sure. They killed us on time of possession. They had the ball over 35 minutes.
Right. It was total keep away. When I was looking up, I think we only had the ball once in the third quarter. And, at that point, too, you're wanting to get McBride more touches. You wanted him to get 5 catches. There's a lot going on. It was frustrating to just watch the Falcons march downfield via the run, and then we were doing it well, but then you're behind, and
we were tied at halftime at 16-16. We were in a desperate pass-only situation.
Right.
That it's inexplicable. His play calling and his lack of aggressiveness when he needs to be aggressive, and aggressive when he doesn't need to be aggressive, is just confounding.
Right.
I mean, for the first time in how many games were they running the football? They were running the football.
Yeah, and effectively.
I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know why he didn't run the football? Because he hasn't run the football the last 5 games, so he just didn't realize he could still run the football. I have no clue for it.
Credit Justin Fry.
Terrific. The whole line was terrific.
I mean, he's really come of age quickly. I mean, he got the pass pro sorted out with a, makeshift group. Gaines is playing great. Adams is playing great. Fry is looking fine.
Yep.
I mean, he has a moment or two in a game, but that happens to most tackles. And now they're running the ball effectively. They really got off. You saw some of those pulls and blocks, and they were getting off the ball really well. And so this is coming on, and I have to give them credit and Petzing credit for keeping to plug away at this and not abandoning it altogether. But it comes down to now, one of the better 2-minute drills Jacoby has run this year was at the end of the first half, where he went like 50 yards in a short amount. We only had X amount of time. And unfortunately, Chad Ryland, who had slipped on a kickoff, which I think screwed his head up the rest of the game. And I can't blame him. I mean, My senior year, I was the kickoff on my football team, guy on my football team. It was homecoming day, and it was a downpour, torrential downpour. We're playing an undefeated team, and I wound up to try to nail the kickoff. My plant foot slipped. It was right out of Keystone Cops. I mean, and I flubbed the top of the football. It squirmed because it was wet. 10 yards. One of my teammates, Paul Mad Dog Blish, pounced on it. We got the ball, marched down, scored 7-0, and that was the final score of the game. And so I went from being laughed at to being hailed. But before Ryland to slip on that turf, and we're going to talk about this turf, it's just outrageous that, you know, in a dome, in a controlled setting, you have this repeated embarrassment of a field. We're going to get to that in full detail. But the point was, I think after that, you know, when kickers block right, they tend to be ginger on their plant foot. And that's what he did twice in this game. People are saying it's another 2 field goal missed tank job. I don't believe that at all. I think they wanted to win. But let me ask you one more question, guys, before we get on to the next play. How about Gannon electing to kick a field goal after this interception when it was 4th and 1? DeMercado ran up the middle up to, 4th and 1. And the crowd was booing, and I don't blame him. I mean, 4th and 1, let's go. Let's get it up to 14, not 10. Now, that was one of the field goals that Ryland made, and it would have made it look way worse. But that was before he then slipped on the ensuing kickoff. What'd you think of that? Were you like screaming like I was? Like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
the head scratcher.
Here's the situation here. I just pulled it up real quick. Yeah. So you had a 4th and 2 at the Atlanta 31-yard line. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see what the numbers say, but I don't know if you've been watching these Thursday night football games. They have the Prime Vision broadcast things, yeah. and they'll give you like red target lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But one of the things they say is pretty much every time, if it's 4th and 2 or less, unless you're in your own 20-yard line or something, you should pretty much go for it every time. If you're between 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3 to 5, it's sometimes a toss-up, but pretty much every time it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 on the opponent's side of the field, you should probably go for it.
I think so. And in this situation, you want to try to do your best to be aggressive, and you have momentum going for you. And I mean, if Amari doesn't get close to the marker there, then okay, but he ran it so close. If it was anything, it was 4th and 1.5. It wasn't a whole 2 yards, I can tell you that. But that I thought was a missed opportunity. But we did convert the field goal. Then he slips. So let's go to but let's get the Burke interception in there first.
By the way, I just looked up a stat too. The Cardinals are 3rd lowest in the NFL in 4th down conversion rate this season. Only the Raiders and the Saints finished lower than the Arizona Cardinals in 4th down conversion rates. Which,
I say load the wagon. Let's go. Let's play. Let's not play soft. Let's be aggressive there. This is a splendid play. Cardinals can come out and cover in some games, but then they go soft. I don't get it, but this is terrific. Look at picking up hat on a hat. Look at that. I love it. They're covering people, not standing around.
Yeah, it forces him to go to his second read here because I think the initial read, if I'm kind of watching Kirk, the initial read is Bijan cutting out right there. Great coverage. I think that's Garrett Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, Garrett Williams, great coverage, forces him to force the second read.
I was really impressed with Cody Simon's coverage in this game.
Sequentially, that was the best we looked all day. It was a terrific pass interception that he made, diving interception, covering Drake London there. And he returned it 17 yards. I think it resulted in a 5-play, 55-yard scoring drive for us.
Right.
Yeah. Which, again, the irony.
This led to the Wilson. Yeah. Gotcha.
Burke's got, what, 3 interceptions this season?
Yeah. Let's
Young
hit
guy,
that
rookie,
graphic.
playing really well.
Yep.
We questioned why they had him in there. Well, he put him in there because of injuries, but I'll tell you what, he's done really well.
He really has. He's the most aggressive corner we've had.
And they got him where? In the 5th round?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Which, again, I was going to say the irony of that play, too, which we'll talk about later, is that their best play of the day comes because Drake London slips on the turf and allows Denzel Burke the leverage to go intercept it.
Yep.
But there's still really heads up. Really heads up.
And you have to be sticky enough to be in position to pick it off. So
that's right.
Kudos. And, he's in a position to break it up anyway. And but here's the thing. And this is some elite company here for Burke. I'm really impressed with this. Nice job. So, and we needed him badly. Unfortunately, Garrett Williams pulled up with an Achilles. That poor kid. I mean, he had the knees. He was out a few weeks with a knee injury early on. In week 2, he suffered it. Missed about 3-4 games. Then came back. He hasn't quite been himself since. And then to come, to pull up with an Achilles, it was brutal. Just so. I think he'll come back strong. He's a very ambitious player, and he will rehab like crazy, and he will, come back in great shape. I believe he will. I have confidence in that, and he's got a plan to be really good in this league. It's been a rough year for him in man coverage, and that's something he will work on, I think, diligently. But as a zone cover, he's been fantastic for us. And, so now, but here's one thing. So late in the game, when we need the ball back, we're behind by 7. And Gannon's about to call timeouts every play, like he does, to try to get the ball back. What was that soft zone on 2nd and 8? That we saw just an absolute easy throw catch. When a game is on the line, and once again, all you have to do is do a little hole shot with a receiver like London who's just standing there unguarded. This is what drives me nuts about Gannon and Rouse. And these are the things that injuries don't account for. Right, you can't excuse this on injuries. This is scheme. This is philosophy. All right, just as in my opinion, you can't blame poor tackling on injuries. These are pro football players.
Yeah, no question.
You put them in a position to tackle, they ought to tackle. And once again, yesterday, the tackling at times was absolutely Keystone Coppish.
We've seen it all year.
Yep. So you can make all the excuses about injuries, but if your guys don't tackle and you're the worst at it in the NFL, how can you – I don't know how these guys, during the weeks when they review the tapes with the team, can save face with trying to tell these guys what to do when the scheme is so soft and when week after week – guys aren't coming up and making sticks. And then Gannon this past week did this whole elaborate thing about how the league won't let you practice tackling.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Maybe again, excuses, injuries, leagues against us. It's just not flying, I think, with anyone who's seen the product.
Makes an excuse like that? A loser.
Yeah.
A loser who happens to be a head coach.
And he said before in training camp, he doesn't like to practice tackling live.
And that's why he's got the most injured team in the league.
I believe that too. I think they're the one of the, they're just not well football conditioned.
No
I
way.
don't think they're conditioning, period.
Correct.
And I think also practicing on a slippery surface is a deterrent. And again, we're going to get to that later. So let's now go hit the array of Falcons highlights.
All right, let's start off here with Bijan Robinson taking a catch out of the backfield, untouched going into the end zone.
Yeah.
Falcon touchdown.
Akeem Davis-Gaither, who had a good tackling day, he had double-figure tackles, gets kind of picked off here. London does a great job of then avoiding the contact, but he's clearly, zeroing in. And Akeem can't take an underneath route on that, and he makes a late read. As soon as Bijan, he should have been keying on Bijan to begin with.
That's right.
As Bijan, right now, he should be mirroring him.
That's right.
But he's not. So he could have been out ahead of the London pick.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my pointer on him. Watch Akeem Davis-Gaither on this play. And now he's behind the line of scrimmage, too, after number one kind of sets a little, not a pick, but a soft pick, basically, forcing him to kind of move around.
Right.
They weren't trying to hide anything there. They just used Bijan's athleticism and speed. Yeah. And the Cardinals, there are three players that they could have made a play if they had their head. They didn't have their head up their asses. And why wasn't the tackle made on the 4th-yard line there? He just kind of ran in the end zone with him.
Right. Look at Will Anderson.
Man, tackle right there.
Boom. Practically walking.
Jeez. It's ridiculous.
Will Anderson is not my kind of player. He's just
Johnson.
Will Johnson, sorry. Oh, Will Anderson is. Will Anderson takes so many plays. Will Johnson, takes so many plays off. He's he's in. At times he can be absolutely fantastic.
You're talking about our rookie?
I just don't trust him. I see too many poor efforts on tape to go like this guy's not legit. This is the kind of thing Pat P used to do. He never chased down a play, ever. Didn't think it was his job. I don't know how the coaches.
You mean we missed on another first-round rookie? The guy we stole that everybody missed on?
Right.
The often injured Will Johnson, who's been injured off and on this year?
Right.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
He could join the Darius Robinson junk heap.
Yeah, although Darius showed up yesterday.
Yeah, a little
Finally.
bit. Woo. A little bit.
So, yeah, but
he's still ranked the third. I think he moved up from the worst D lineman to the third worst D lineman.
We'll take it. That's progress.
Yeah.
The thing about Darius is he hustles. In fact, when he gets beat, he chases downfield. I got to give him credit for that. I think he's a little physically overwhelmed.
Yes.
In defensive interior.
Yes.
And something's got to be done about that positional wise.
He doesn't have a coach.
4-3 D end. That's what he is. And he
has no coach to improve it, does he?
Right.
Right now, he doesn't have a coach to improve it. That coach is down the road. He went to work for, I don't know, who cares? but he has no coaching to improve him.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we ought to talk about later.
Oh, yeah.
We have defensive coaches defecting, going back to college.
One of the best things, if he do clean house, is to watch where these guys land.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
As a preview, Jonathan Gannon gets fired. I want the list of teams that's going to hire him as a head coach.
Or a coordinator. I don't think he's getting any.
I agree.
He'll come back as a D-back coach, but look at our D-backs. I mean, nothing special. Burke, a 5th rounder, is outplaying the others.
Yep.
And here's the other thing is that you got Elijah Jones. You got a 3rd-round draft pick on, and even late in games and blowouts, you don't even put him in.
Do they have Elijah Jones? Do they have his contract next year?
Yeah. Well, they got 2 more years of him.
Yeah, well, his agent should be calling Monty today and say, what's the buyout? Because we're out of here.
Well, what he should hopefully is calling Michael Bidwell and say, can you please get a new coaching staff because you're ruining my kid.
Oh, every agent's thinking that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't. And then, of course, Jaden Davis gets activated, and they don't activate Elijah Jones yesterday, who's been on the roster the whole time. Jaden Davis was actually off the practice squad a few times, off it entirely. They brought him back. I'm glad they did. I like this kid. He's a good special teamer. But he's on the field getting snaps. And Elijah Jones is inactive. I don't know how in the world that can ever happen. And it's just mind-boggling.
Halfway through the season next year, when he's on another team, you and I will have the opportunity to talk about how contributory and valuable he is to the other team.
Oh, it better
That's what we have to look forward to, Walt.
Oh, man.
There we
Not
go.
if we get a
Here
coach.
We go again.
Right. But not if we get a coach worth, with integrity, and he's willing to, make every position a competition and legitimately give everyone a fair chance. Because I don't think Elijah Jones has gotten a fair chance at all.
Best man-to-man guy we got.
It is.
Best man-to-man guy.
There's no doubt in my mind. And
never injured in
those
college.
Games that we got beat on fade passes in the 4th quarter, like against Cam. And like 3 weeks in a row, we got beat on a deep fade. Elijah Jones would have been all on top of those. That's his game. But they don't even play him. So it's just, I don't get it. They really have a good way of burying guys, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, K'Trell Clark comes in, plays a couple great games, buried for like the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, because they quit using him in the slot. They put him on the edges.
You're right. And then they put him in a position where he's not at his, the top of his game.
Set up to fail.
Yep. Like we've chronicled it. All right, next.
All right, we're just going through the Falcons plays here. This is the Kyle Pitts touchdown.
Wide
again.
open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yep.
Who the hell was watching him? Oh, yeah.
Total mix-up. I think Dadrian Taylor Demerson was supposed to be the cover.
That DT's guy.
Or it was Jaden Davis. But look at them both there are not even close to the play. And it's a basic rub-off route.
Yep.
You're using the wide receiver as to clear out, and then you're coming underneath him. It's a well-designed play, but you got to be able to jump that route. and leverage it, but there's no one even close.
It's a communication issue. There was none.
Well,
no communication there whatsoever. We've seen it all year.
Exactly.
It's a big oops on defense. Oops. Who had him? Let's all look
on this
stupid.
play, you got Pitts on Davis, or Davis on Pitts. I don't know if it's a zone to pass off, but anyways, he runs into Cody
you're right.
Simon.
It's Davis on Pitts, and he's not even in a position to leverage. That's a giveaway itself. Yeah, you're right.
Right here, he runs into Cody Simon, which bumps him off his route.
Keystone Cops.
And then Demerson is kind of reacting. I don't know what Demerson again is the safety, so I think he's kind of in a zone there. But then again, Demerson slips probably on the turf, and it allows Pitts the opening to be able to go into the end zone.
Correct. This happens once or twice every game, doesn't it? It's so repetitive, you can count on it. And teams are licking their chops, studying tape of the Cardinals, knowing they can get stuff like this pretty easily. And it's kind of made to order. So, all right, next one.
All right, next up we have the quote-unquote play of the day here, which is I saw everyone talking about this, the now infamous Bijan Robinson big run, where he splits about 4 defenders, breaks it up the sideline. Nice little play there.
You got 2 major mistakes here that shouldn't have to happen. All right. You got your blitzing Will Johnson off the edge. He should have been a sitting duck. Instead, Johnson plays at half speed. Now, Johnson has contain on this play because he's the outside guy. But Ojulari overcommits inside. He, too, has to keep his outside arm free. Instead, he gets pinned. And now he's taking himself out of the play. Now, Ojulari wound up getting the 1 sack in the game, and he did a couple really good things. But this is not good from Ojulari, and it's not acceptable from Will.
Looking around, I don't know if I see Ojulari on this.
He's number 9, right?
Oh, yep, there you go. Okay. So, yeah, Ojulari there.
Yeah, he gets pinned. He goes overcommits inside. Plus, the linebacker's way out of control.
Let's see. So
both linebackers, look, in tandem going to the right. One of them's got to lead. The other one's got to fill. And both get stuck in traffic.
Oh, Will Johnson that's such a poor effort.
It is. It's really weak sauce. I mean, if you turn on the speed here, you could be at his ankles.
He's the backside containment guy.
He is.
He just
disappointing.
Yeah, you got Davis Gaither out of position there.
Where's the tackle? Jeez.
Good recovery by Crawford. Give him credit. Or that was 6. Let's go to the next play.
All right. Next up, we have got ourselves nice little Kirk Cousins tush push into the end zone. I think this was off of the Bijan play too. This was the end of that drive where they're basically tush pushing him into the end zone. It's good on Kirk Cousins. I didn't know his body could still.
Same thing. I was like, whoa.
I didn't know he physically was able to still do that, but good on old Kirk for putting it together.
So
And so now the what was once a 10-point lead is now a 10-point deficit for the Cardinals.
Yes, and if I'm correct, look at the clock. It's 12:32 in the fourth quarter, and the Cardinals have had the ball once.
In the second half, you're saying?
In that whole span. I mean, it was classic keep away from the Cardinals offense. Classic. Ball control drives, time consuming. I was looking up when the Falcons were knocking on the door before the Pitts TD, that it was like 7 minutes left.
So there's your time of possession for the half. You got Falcons 7.5-minute drive. So that's literally half the quarter on their drive. Cardinals run 3:43 drive, ends in a missed field goal, and then the Falcons hold the ball until, like you just said, about 12 minutes into the fourth quarter. So up to this point, the Falcons have held the ball for nearly 14 minutes, and the Cardinals have held the ball for 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
There you go. Yep, that's tough. And then you finally get the ball back again, and you go -5 yards and punt.
Yeah, 3 and out. Well, I guess. Oh, it was a sack. Yeah, so you go 3 and out immediately.
Yeah, the first pass was to Sims, who dropped it. The second pass was to Higgins for 5 yards, and then we get a 10-yard sack.
Mm-hmm. And then you're punting the ball, field position. I guess field position wasn't terrible, but then the Falcons immediately pick up a 12-yard chunk play, and all of a sudden you've lost your field positioning. So,
I mean, Robinson and Algier are huge 1-2 punch. Algier's tremendous too. The two of them are fantastic. I've been watching them some all year and going like, whoa.
Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead, Walter. I got one more play for us.
Go ahead. Let's finish it out.
Yeah. So moving ahead, this is your 2-minute drill, your run for the Cardinals. You got yourself.
I don't get this play at all. I don't get it at all. I don't even know why we're not attacking down the middle of the field. And it's for a cornerback who just cushions it and jumps. What is Michael Wilson doing on this play? Michael Wilson, I don't know if he was losing the ball. I mean, what is that, a comeback route and he stops coming back?
He's got to fight for that football. He has to help his quarterback.
Absolutely. But I still question, why are you running a comeback route from the far hash? That's not an easy throw in this situation and not attacking the middle of the field.
And that's where Jacoby is best.
Yeah. I mean, look at the middle. Look at DeMercado. Look at Higgins. They're wide open over the middle.
Yeah.
And they're a much quicker pass.
That was a poor throw. And why Wilson didn't fight for the ball and bail him out, I don't know.
I don't get it either. And
but like Walter said, it could be a poor throw, or it could be Wilson late on the route, basically on the timing route coming back to the ball. It's we don't know for sure, but Wilson.
Well, he stops.
Again, it takes him a second to come back to the ball.
Yep. Stops. He does not make a huge effort to get to that football.
Well, but did Henderson fall out of bounds there?
Oh, I thought it was clear that he was, when he finally got control.
Yeah,
his head was out of bounds.
Well, there's got to be something there, because he should have just gotten up and ran to the end zone. Because who touched him?
Yeah, I think he's out of bounds right there. Yeah, he's out of bounds. His back is kind of out of bounds right there.
And he still doesn't have control right then. Right. Now he does.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have liked to have seen another view of that.
And Henderson was added to their team like 10 days ago. Came up from the practice squad. I mean, he's a good player, Henderson. I mean,
I think he's a former top 10 pick, I want to say. I think years ago, I think he was a top 10 pick in the draft.
Right. This is where it's moments like these when you really have to be clutch in a 2-minute drill. That in 3 years, Petzing got nothing.
Nothing. And
none of his quarterbacks have had it. Except, as I said, for Kyler against Atlanta 2 years ago, because he all they need was a field goal to win, and he ran for like 52 yards to set it up. So it wasn't an on-schedule 2-minute thing.
What's also strange about this play that I just thought of is, like, obviously, so there's 1:30 on the clock. So I understand if you're worried about time, you're trying to throw it to the boundary. But if Wilson's coming back to the ball and he goes out of bounds, you don't even get the stoppage of the clock. He would have had to turn upfield and get out of bounds on this play. So at first I was like, oh, well, they're trying to play to save time. But even on that route, if the corner just pushes you out of bounds and you're coming back to the ball, you don't even get the clock stopping. So just a strange play call all around. And you've got, I know he's playing hurt, but you've got Marvin one-on-one on the outside there too.
Marvelous Marvin, disappearing marvelous Marvin Harrison Jr.
Too, Kyle, is that look at where Jacoby is. He's on the left hash. Mm-hmm. If you're going to throw an out pass, you throw it to your left.
That's right.
You don't make it harder by throwing a comeback pass, which is risky to begin with, from the far hash mark.
I'm kind of trying to watch Jacoby's, and it's hard because we can't see the receivers, but I'm trying to watch Jacoby's eyes just to see where the first read was on this play. I don't know if it was McBride or Higgins. I'm guessing it's got to be McBride just based on positioning. But
I don't know. Looking at his feet, looks like he's going to Wilson the whole time.
Yeah, let's see.
It does. I
don't think the throw was that poor. I think the decision to throw it there was a poor one, given the options. But I think Michael Wilson screwed him on this.
Yeah.
Yep, I see. That's a good point with the feet. I think he is setting up to throw it there. And again, it could be a timing route issue. It could be a bad throw issue. We really don't know.
It was a lack of effort on Wilson's part, in my opinion. Wilson should have at least fought for that football.
I mean,
he sees the football in the air.
Yep.
He can anticipate where it's going just as well as Henderson did. And Henderson went and made the catch.
Right. Wilson earlier in the game stopped running when he got interfered with, when he could have caught a pass for a touchdown up the left sideline. I never understood that either. He kind of quit on the play, and the ball had enough air. He could have easily run under it, caught it, and we could have had more than one touchdown in this whole game. That Gannon was just settling for field goals. And the offense, I mean, they kicked, 5 attempts for field goals? I mean, unacceptable. This is week 15. And you're at home trying to break a long losing streak. This is the kind of ultra-conservative philosophy that has aided and abetted the Cardinals losing, like they have from the get-go when Gannon and company showed up and Ossenfort. And, it's just this team is not taught how to finish anything. They're not taught how to finish tackles. Although the blocking, go back to this play. Again, the one team, that's what's too bad about this play is look at the protection that Jacoby has on this play. I mean, hat on a hat, and he's got all day. And this is just such a poor choice given all the options.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Look at Higgins. Look at Higgins right here. You can hit him right now on a hole shot.
Yep,
and you don't even see where Marv is, but
yeah, again, all 22 angle would be good here. But even so, there's your check down. The Falcons are giving it to you. They'd rather say we'll lose the time than whatever DeMercado's going to get. But your check down's right there.
Right. Sam, why is our passing offense, so much better without Marvin on the field?
Well, he's looking for options. He's got additional options that he's looking for. He's got better connection with, well, until I saw that play, better connection with Wilson and Trey.
Yes.
And, I'd like to be able to say he's got better connections with a couple running backs out of the backfield, but we never see that.
Well, we were with Bam. Bam was coming out of that backfield pretty well.
Yes.
And Carter's very capable of it.
Very capable, but we're not seeing it.
No, we're not. But here's the thing. It's only one football, right?
Yep.
I mean, Kyle, you've seen this. What's going on? I mean, when Marv's on the field, things just get messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll caveat part of it by just saying Marv's been battling injuries too. And so I know that's maybe affecting his play. I know he's pushing himself to get out there, especially for this game. I was reading, in part because I have him on my fantasy football team, but I was reading stuff about it, and they were saying like, he's going to be eased into the game plan, and that kind of tells me maybe shouldn't be out there right now with the injury. But in terms of the offense itself, it's predicated on throws over the middle. Being able to throw it consistently to McBride opens up things on the outside. I'm really glad Michael Wilson's gotten his shot to prove himself, because he's been just truly incredible. But because McBride is so excellent, it forces safeties to have to drop into the middle, which opens things up on the outside. And when you have a solid receiver going one-on-one on the outside, like Michael Wilson, you're seeing what ends up happening. And if they had a receiver in the slot too, who was a strong, capable, I'm not saying Dortch isn't, but I'm saying if they had someone like Puka Nacua or someone they could go screen passes consistently to, I think that would open up the offense more as well. And some teams just put their best receivers in there anyways. So maybe if you want to get real creative, just start throwing Trey McBride over there and just start throwing screens to him and see what he can do. But
there you go. Real creative. We don't have real creative.
Exactly. Just try something different with put your best players in positions to succeed. But it's hard to conflate it, because I do think a healthy Marv could be doing, by talent, what Michael Wilson is doing, but we're just not seeing it in this offense. He's been hurt, and B, he just hasn't gotten opportunity because Michael Wilson has been playing tremendous.
He had an opportunity to catch a touchdown pass yesterday, and he dropped it.
Yep.
And Marvin did, yeah. And Trey
dropped a great deep shot. I think it was overthrown, but to be fair.
Okay. And then Trey dropped a touchdown pass.
He did.
Surprised.
You know what pissed me off about that? Was we're in like the 2-minute drill, because we're behind 2 scores, and there's either a completion or an incompletion to Trey, and he's walking back to the huddle instead of running, and he's jawing with a defender.
Yeah, he likes to do that.
I mean, wrong time to do that, dude.
Yeah.
We're trying to come back from 2 scores, and then on the next play, he drops the touchdown. You know, there are times when Trey just kind of loses it mentally. And I love the guy, and he is like such a baller and everything. And I know on the bench he looked like irate after that whole sequence. He knows he would have had. Now, I'm not sure if the defender in front of him obscured his view a little bit of that pass. So, I think that if he had a better look at it, maybe that was a guaranteed catch. But nonetheless, I think the play should have happened sooner because Trey didn't get lined up sooner. But in those situations, it's no time to be chatting with the defender. And,
so
you gotta.
So you got how many injuries yesterday? You got 3 guys who are injured. We just saw how many plays where people didn't tackle, people didn't cover, people didn't execute, people didn't bail his quarterback out on a comeback route. You got
Right.
Marvin and Trey dropping touchdown passes. What's the theme here?
I know.
The theme here is these players have had it. They've just had it. The extra effort we saw at the beginning of the season, middle of the season, okay. We're not seeing it at the end of the season.
Right.
And the only thing a fan could hope for at this point is these players have had it to a point, they're frustrated to a point where they're starting to complain to the right people about this coaching staff. Because that's the only way they're going to get fired.
Right.
Mr. Popular, Mr. Easy in preseason, Mr. Easy in training camp, Mr. Easy, you can stay on IR all season. He's done as a coach here because these kids all realize he's ruining their career.
And I think
that's the only way you're going to get rid of him. If we leave it up to the owner, he doesn't care. He didn't care. He'll keep them because he don't want to have to pay them along with Cliff and Steve and probably the next guy.
Yeah. Oh boy. The thought of that is just agonizing. If he runs it back. I mean, people are saying like, "Oh, keep Gannon, but get new coordinators." Well, here's a couple things like that. What are you keeping Gannon for? He hired his guys, and now what coordinators are going to come in and join a lame duck coach?
And it's lame duck GM. That's correct.
Year 4.
That's correct.
Lame duck GM.
That's right.
Who are you going to get worth their salt to come in and bail these coaches out? That's why you got to get one guy who's going to command his side of the ball as a head coach and get that straight, and bring in a coordinator who's a complementary piece and a veteran guy who knows what he's doing. Now you've got a good scenario. But Marvin to me is like the extra log on the fire for this offense. It's like it kind of smothers it out, because what people fail to realize, and Kyle will remember this, and I think you will too, Sam, from Revenge of the Birds, because I said this from day one. It was a mistake to draft Marvin because he's going to change the whole complexion of priorities in the offense. That's what I said.
Yep.
Because there's going to be the pressure with this guy who's going to supposedly a generational talent to get him the ball. Well, hello, timeout. We got a guy to get the ball to in Trey McBride. And then I always felt from the beginning that if you can get Michael Wilson off track, you got a really good receiver there. I've always liked Dortch, but you can't have McBride as alpha and Harrison as beta. It's just never going to work. And now you get the father saying that, the offense is ass. The
father's right.
Well, but we've seen it. How was an ass when his son was off the field and Michael Wilson is going off as, the option number 2, and he's the perfect guy for option number 2 behind Trey. You need a guy who's like that. And, but the first 5 games this season, the post games were all about whether the Cardinals won or not, and then what did Marvin do? It's been that way since he was here. And it's just it's such a distraction, an unwelcome distraction. And when he's had his good games, we all rejoice. Yes. But, I mean, it's been more off games than good games.
We are among the worst NFL teams in targeting wide receivers at the lowest rate in the league.
Well, you know why that's the case is because you don't have a true slot. That's where the majority of target shares.
Right.
I was kind of thinking about this. It's almost like they are going in the opposite direction of modern football. It's like
that's right.
Because you don't see tight ends with the usage rates of Trey McBride anymore. I mean, you used to have Gronks, you used to have Travis Kelce's, you used to have even just random tight ends that would have giant receiving seasons. And this year, it's like Trey McBride and then Kelce's like 300 yards behind him, and then just everyone else kind of slides in after that. So you've got a high usage tight end. You've got 2 X receivers, which, in fairness, a Kyler Murray offense, you can justify having 2 X receivers. You're playing more to the outside, more rolling, big arm plays. You're not throwing over the middle as more, but they never ran a Kyler Murray offense, and Kyler Murray's not your quarterback anymore. So you've got 2 X's, a high usage tight end, no screens to running backs, no screens to slots, very little motion. It's like you're kind of going in the opposite direction of where a lot of modern offenses choose to go.
Right. And the reason is you've got an OC who has a fit the scheme mentality. So you had Kyler Murray to begin with. He was horrible up the middle. So they draft vertical threat MHJ.
Right.
Or he's supposed to be a vertical threat guy.
Right.
They don't have him. They don't use him effectively on crossing routes.
Right.
So it hinders his overall production. So then, you wind up with Jacoby Brissett, who's perfect to have Marvin run crossing routes.
Right.
He still doesn't. And you just got you. It's like every coach we have, he's learning on the job.
Right.
He hasn't quite figured out what we all know yet. He hasn't quite figured it out. Because all he knows is his scheme. And that's why we scored what? How many points in the second half yesterday when we were in this game? Ridiculous.
Yeah. Field goals, baby.
Ridiculous.
Let's just line up for a field goal.
Which also the scheme worked better when you had a great run game last year. And now the run game has disappeared.
Right.
But to Petzing's credit, he's shown enough on both sides. I don't. But like I said in the beginning, if you can't run a 2-minute drill as an offensive coach, you can't win in the NFL. You just can't. There are too many close games, and you have to have that all lined up. And Petzing has not had that lined up from the beginning, and nor have any of his quarterbacks. I'm kind of surprised that Jacoby hasn't taken this by the horns and gotten this right himself, like a Kurt Warner would have done. So that's disappointing too. And it makes me skeptical about Jacoby being the starter next year. Because if you can't run a 2-minute drill, it's just not going to work. Not in this division. I mean, not when Sam Darnold has 12 in 2 years, and you don't have virtually any in 2 years. I mean, and you're fizzling out at the end of fourth quarters because you can't push the ball down, and you're running these ultra conservative plays. It's just not made to order. So that's got to change.
The Cardinals have been consistent all season. They are the worst fourth quarter team, offense and defense, in the NFL.
Correct.
All season.
Yep.
Every game, every week, every season, all season, the worst fourth quarter team in the league.
And the irony is, back in 2023, that was the perfect win. To suck in the fourth quarter to make sure you don't win, so we tank for Marv. I mean, well, anyway, we got to move on. I got to talk about this field. Yeah. Enough is enough. This is going on. I wrote an article. I've wrote several articles over the years about this field. How it screwed up a Super Bowl. Andy Reid was livid. in 2023, on August 11th, I wrote at Revenge of the Birds about this field. I made a play on words saying that, are the Cardinals still high on retractable grass? But it wasn't funny to me. The whole tenor of the article wasn't funny to me because slip sliding away. And the worst part about this too is this is the training camp field. We've lost players in training camp to leg injuries. And let me preface this till I show you the list of past guys who've gotten major leg injuries on this field to the guys who've gotten them this year, which has just got to be an all-time record, to knowing that yesterday our own kicker slipped on a kickoff. That's how bad this field was in certain spots. There was slipping and going on. Now, when you play on it's like skating. When you play on a slippery field, you have to be very careful about where you plant, how you plant. It makes things treacherous. And I get that a softer grass field is easier on when you get tackled. I get that. But if you can't rely on traction playing football on a regular basis in an environment controlled dome where you can guarantee it. You can guarantee every game that you've got a dry surface and that you've got a cool temperature, a perfect game time temperature. And leave it to the Cardinals to fuck all that up. It's just got to stop. Look at this list. Kyle's going to post it. Look at the list of our good players who've gone down on this field with leg injuries. Read it off, Kyle.
All right. So we've got notable injuries over the past few years. Carson Palmer, ACL. Darnell Dockett, ACL. Jared Valdir, ankle. AQ Shipley, ACL. Marlon Mack, ruptured Achilles. DJ Humphries, dislocated patella, major ligament damage. Corey Peters, ACL. Justin Pugh, ACL. DeAndre Hopkins, MCL. Tyrann Mathieu, ACL. Dennis Gardeck, ACL twice. Kyler Murray, ACL. BJ Ojolari, ACL. In training camp, John Gaines, ACL 2023 preseason. Then you've got the 2025 one. Starling Thomas V, ACL training camp. Justin Jones, knee training camp. Christian Jones, knee preseason game. LJ Collier, knee week 2. Paris Johnson Jr., knee week 2 and week 13. Garrett Williams, knee week 2. Achilles, week 15. Trey Benson, knee week 4. Kyler Murray, foot, week 5. Tip Ryman, ankle, week 5. Will Hernandez, hip, week 11. Max Melton, heel, week 12. Josh Sweat, ankle, week 15. Walter Nolan, knee, week 15.
So Walter is 100% correct about this, and he's got backup because there are 2 franchises that utilize a movable natural grass field. Arizona Cardinals and Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. And they are the 2 worst turfs allowing or causing significant injuries in the NFL. Allegiant is actually reportedly worse than the Cardinals. It's the most injury-prone stadium in the NFL by the NFLPA. In 2022, Andy Reid questioned the turf. His players, he had a number of players go down and get injured playing in State Farm, and he said that field is dangerous. He used the word dangerous.
In fact, his kicker, Harrison Butker, had a Chad Ryland day.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely livid. In a controlled environment like this, it is absolutely unforgivable.
Yep.
That you would make teams play on this kind of a surface.
Well, the NFL should step in and do something about it, but
and that's weird too because
who are the 2 dumbest spoiled brat entitled silver spoon standing on third losers to ever be bequeathed a football team.
Yeah.
Davis and Bidwell.
Yep.
There you go.
Hands
down. Two dummies can't even grow grass.
Well, they can grow it all right. Too bad the sucker's wet and spongy, and but anyway, and you have to have a certain, as I made it clear in this article because I did the research, you got to adjust your cleats.
Oh yeah,
you have to have alternate sets of cleats.
Yes.
When you're playing on a slippery surface.
Yes.
And those cleats can get caught. I mean, you know who's got it perfect in my mind? And you know why they're hardly ever injured? Are the Rams and Chargers. That stadium's, that turf, synthetic turf at SoFi Stadium is gorgeous. It's mint to the art. And there's not a spot on it. Even when you can let the air in, where it's slippery, the traction is fantastic on that field, and it has some give to it too. It's not like playing on cement. And that's the first thing. If I were in charge of the Cardinals, that's the first thing I would do. I would get rid of the retractable and put in a synthetic turf, just like the one at SoFi, and that's gonna. I'm going to guarantee my players are going to have traction and they don't have to worry about it. It's when you overcompensate too. When you're on skates, you're apt to tear something because you're tiptoeing around. When you're worrying about traction, it's going to catch up to you. It happens all the time. But when you look at the preponderance of these injuries and that they happened at home this year, I don't think you can say it's just fluky. That's just the way the stars align. No, there is cause and effect, and it's got to stop. So that'd be the first thing. Second thing I would do is no, I'm not going to wait 3 years for a facility change. The hell with that. I'm going to get somebody on it right now. We can't continue to go through the worst training staff, the worst weight room, a training facility. It's got to change now, not 3 years from now, not 2 years from now. Now, it's got to train, and you got to train these players properly. You got to get them in good shape. That's number 3. Get a training staff that knows what the frick they're doing, and gets these players in shape, so they don't have calf injuries when you're working them out early. I mean, I don't know how Walter Nolan got the calf injury. I don't know if he was out on that field when it happened. It might have been in the weight room. No one's reported it. But it wouldn't surprise me if both with he and Darius, it was out training in the field. On both. Is that just a total fluke that they both suffered calf injuries? Whatever they're doing with these players and whatever they're playing, working them out on, it's awful. It's FFF, and it's got to stop. So that's my spiel there.
They are consistently among the most injured teams in the league the last 3 seasons.
And it's no wonder.
Yeah.
It's no wonder. And plus, when you open the roof, more condensation comes down than people realize. There's humidity or whatever. It creates more condensation. And I don't think it was a fluke either that some of these injuries happened because the roof was open and making it, compounding the matter. There's a whole science to this. I'm not an expert on it. I try to do some digging. But one thing I know is it is an environment you can control. So it's so derelict in a sense of responsibility if you don't. And you're putting your players at risk.
You know what I'd like to see? If they put that Rams field, replace the Cardinals field with the Rams field.
Yeah.
I like to see some Rams football.
Yeah.
Played by the Cardinals. That's what I want.
Correct.
I want to see some Los Angeles Rams football played.
Yep.
At State Farm, consistently and long term. Give
Right.
me that too. Throw that in there, Mike, with the
Yep.
new training facility 3 years down the road.
You remember the segments I used to do on Revenge of the Birds called Ram Tough?
Yep.
For the Cardinals? That's what I was wanting too, all this time. You know, the Rams are tough. Why can't we be? And why can't we be even tougher? I don't
Tough
see
and
why
smart.
we can't. What's
Tough
that?
and smart.
Yeah.
Tough and smart. Give me Rams tough and Rams smart.
That's why, you know, I wouldn't mind digging into the Rams coaching staff, you know, to get a couple of their guys. I mean, you know, Chris Shula, he's an up and comer.
Call Les Snead. Call Les Snead and say, Les, take our top 5 guys, take our first round pick, and give us Sean McVay.
Like that could ever happen. Oh, that'd be
Right.
a, you know,
Pipe dream. It's pipe dream.
Right.
Just like hoping Jonathan Gannon and his Keystone Cops and that general manager who hired all of them are gone next year. That's the same pipe dream. Same pipe dream.
Right.
What happens when they keep these guys and they go 0-6 in a last place schedule next year?
Oh God.
Are we going to be told we have to wait till the end of the season for them to get fired? They're going to fire coach mid-season?
Well, even if you do, the season's over at that point. I mean, the NFL, no team that fires a coach ends up going on a run, except for, I can't remember. I think it was the Raiders the year Gruden was fired, which was not for performance reasons. It's like the only time a team with an interim coach has gone to the playoffs. So it's the lame duck season thing you're talking about.
That's right. So that's the only thing we really have to look forward to if he keeps this staff. He can't break up this staff. I mean, he could break it up a little bit, but he can't get rid of his OC. He's definitely not going to get rid of his DC. So you got the same staff running it back, and they're going to play a last place schedule next year. Maybe they'll win a few games early. I don't know. They had that opportunity this year, and they failed to take advantage of it. But they're still going to go 0-6 in the division. There's no question that there's nothing on this football team that gives me any fantasy that we're going to win a game against the division next year. Division is going to be even better next year. You see the Rams have it drafting in the first round next year?
Yeah.
Maybe a higher pick than the Cardinals, except the Falcons won today.
Yeah.
And imagine if the Rams get the running back from Notre Dame. Everybody's screwed if that happens. I mean, after we saw Bijan, I mean, if they get that running back from Notre Dame, even though Kyron's good and, you know, and Blake Corum is
tremendous
running back too.
They're all good against us.
Oh my God.
Remember what, I still say this to this day, the best running back I've ever seen was those 2 years of Todd Gurley with Sean McVay. If Sean McVay can do that with a talent like Gurley, wait till you see what he'll do with a first-round talent.
Gurley, Charbonneau, and then how about Jahar Jordan last week? Jordan. They just elevated him from the practice squad. 101 yards and 15 carries.
Right.
Everybody runs on us.
Yeah. The schemes in the offensive line.
Yeah. The only team that's going to take a step back next season in this division is us. We got 3 teams that are vying for the number 1 seed in the NFL.
Right. That's why we have to make a change. And I just want to throw this in here before we leave. Posted my updated wish list. And with the notation that I want these candidates with their choices of GMs. So they're lined up and have added incentive to come here because it's not going to happen with Monty. So it's got to happen where you give Robert Salah carte blanche and you tell him, you tell us who you want as GM. You got him. We're going to support you. We got to turn this thing around. We believe you're the guy. Let us know how we can help you do that. So, and he's been at the top of my list. Brian Flores has been at the top of my list. If Todd Bowles becomes available, he would become at the top of my list. I really think we need a defensive guy who can take on McVay, Shanahan, and Kubiak. But I have Kubiak on my list. I think he'd be fantastic. I also have Joe Brady. I want a quarterback. If I'm going offense, I want a quarterback guy. Because it looks right now like there's a good chance we could get Ty Simpson. And there's a lot of talent there. I mean, Ty Simpson has some Drake May in him. There's no, he's got the arm, he's got the maneuverability. He doesn't quite have the polish yet, but neither did Drake May coming into the league last year. With good coaching with Josh McDaniels this year, he's a completely different player. And if you saw the game last night, the way he was climbing the pocket to make plays downfield was just absolutely brilliant for a second-year player. In my mind, I've rarely seen anything like it. But this is what we need. We need a quarterback. And if we're going that route, we need a quarterback guru, someone who's going to develop this quarterback and make it real this time, and make it stick. So, and let me see if there's another offensive player. Who I like too is Mike LaFleur from the Rams. Run that McVay system here, baby. I'm taking it. Mike LaFleur, his brother's doing great, although I'm hearing he's in hot water right now. If he came available, I'd be like
100%
sending the team jet to Green Bay. And
100%.
Maybe that's part of it too, is you never know who's going to be available. I mean,
true.
I've been saying for like a month now, and I'm not saying it will happen, but it's just been stuck in my mind, is like, if this Ravens team misses the playoffs, they have to fire John Harbaugh. Like, there's nothing really to do if you're the Ravens other than look up and be like, what are we supposed to do? We can't change anything.
I think that's right, Kyle. I think the Ravens have a quarterback head coach problem.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a real problem there, and usually you opt for the player.
Yep.
John Harbaugh. So it begs the question. Let's throw Tomlin in there, just to illustrate. You got Tomlin out there. You got LaFleur out there. You got Harbaugh out there. You got Jonathan Gannon out there. But you got Harbaugh, LaFleur, etc. They're going to have a job in an hour. They're going to have multiple offers in an hour. They're going to be fighting for these guys in an hour. Jonathan Gannon's going to spend the year learning how to hit his driver. At least a year. He might get a position coach somewhere as a backfield coach. I don't know what film anybody would look at and hire Jonathan Gannon as a cornerbacks coach. We've seen what his cornerback squad looks like. It's pathetic.
Ask Eagles
Absolutely
fans.
pathetic.
Yep. Eagles fans say the exact same thing.
But exactly.
And they saw it ad nauseum.
That's right.
And he had all these, the best front seven in the league. And it didn't matter sometimes in games. They just were like, their corners are playing way off. There's way too much cushion there. What's going on here? So they saw it. We've seen it up front. It doesn't work. It makes us the worst fourth quarter team in the league defensively.
And offensively, we are.
And if it weren't for Calais Campbell making a sack, we would have been we would have gone 0-8 at home. I mean, look what the Panthers have done since. I mean, we've won one game since. They've won 8 games since. They've gone, 8-6. I mean, with Bryce Young, a young quarterback, and their defense is playing better. They played a really good game against the Bucs. I mean, they're coming on. We're going in opposite directions.
The one that I laughed at this week that I saw one of those Cardinal fan pages post was that since the infamous blown lead against the Titans, the Cardinals have won 1 game and the Titans have won 2 games.
Correct.
The Titans were the worst team in the league who fired their coach right after that.
Not anymore. We'd lose to them again.
Oh, for sure.
Right now.
Oh,
we'd lose to them again. Cam it out, play us. I mean, their defense is, I love their defensive coordinator. I think he's an up and coming, really, really good. Can you look up his name? Denard Walker, I think it is. Or he's a D-back coach by nature. I think he's doing a heck of a job there. His guys get after it. And I was watching their game yesterday. Boy, that defense really came after and played hard.
Denard Wilson.
Denard Wilson.
Did you see?
I like him a lot. I love the guy in the young guy in Detroit. He's not ready for a head coach job yet, but that guy's got something good going on there. It didn't show up yesterday, obviously, but there's
Shepard.
Shepard, Kelvin Shepard. I mean, a former player too knows that guy's going somewhere because he's a motivator. And I remember that game, that Monday night game, where he had no starters in the secondary, and the dudes he played balled out of their butts and created turnovers and took command of that game. That spoke volumes to me. And then the excitement that he generates on the sideline, unlike Gannon, who stands there like a ghost, staring into space. And that's the part of Gannon that I can't wait to get rid of too.
Oh.
Is watching the other coach on the other side work his ass off, calling plays, doing this, doing that, doing what the requisite things that a head coach should do on game day, and watching Jonathan Gannon just standing there staring obliquely into space.
No, we saw that lot yesterday, and we saw from the other coach.
Yeah,
we saw it in Houston.
Yeah, one guy's coaching, one guy's watching.
Coaching those guys because you know what? Those guys knew what the hell was happening. This guy didn't have a clue what's going on. All he's doing is watching his bad news.
I don't know how you talk your way into a job like that. How does that happen? So, but anyway, it's gonna come down to. I mean, yesterday was probably the chance for Gannon to make his mark, make his case for staying. I was worried all year long that there'd be a win at the end where everyone went, "Oh, now they finally get it." No, this is too long of a pattern.
They've shown they'll never get it.
They'll never get it. They are incorrigible.
You could say that was the worst effort of the year. You really could hang your hat and say it was the worst effort of the year by that team.
Well, and here's another thing. I just sent Kyle. What's the title of John Madden's book, Kyle?
Man-to-man football.
Man-to-man football. Look at the Cardinals defense. When do they ever play man-to-man football? I mean, in real earnest for sustained periods of time.
They haven't drafted the talent to play man-to-man football.
They're chicken shit to play man-to-man football. And you're right. They don't draft to play man-to-man football. Their philosophy is bend, baby, bend. But then tighten up, when you get close to it. So we'll just give up field goals. Well, and you know what? I'm so sick of that. That's for tankers.
Well,
and the kind of defense that you want for tankers. And Kyle Odegaard, we're going to finish on this note. Kyle Odegaard, did I include that? I think I did in my text.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what he writes today. And he's the one 3 years ago was like, all Mr. Tank. Got to do it. Got to clean house. Got to, tank for games. called the Seahawks game when we lost on the 2 missed field goals the perfect loss, which kind of surprises me about Kyle Odegaard. I mean, where's the integrity of that? I don't get it. How do you tell grown men it's okay to lose and get beat up for nothing? All right, Kyle, read it.
His tweet: after Walter Nolan and Garrett Williams injuries, the only prudent move is to clean house and tell the next staff it has a tank year to aim for a 2027 rookie QB. A second tank in 4 years is crazy, but it's the only path to get things turned around.
Classic Cardinal fans. Kyler Murray is the only. We have no choice. All this no choice. We no other choices. How's tanking working out for us? Go ahead, read my response.
All right, Walter's response: no more tanking. Cardinals have ample talent to compete. They have to be taught how to win and finish strong from day one. They have to develop a confidence in a new general manager and head coach and coaching staff who collectively have the gravitas and know-how that gives the players a competitive edge in one of the NFL's most competitive divisions. Losing has to stop. Asking coaches and players to lose is as egregious as it gets.
There's no integrity in it. And you know how I feel about the football gods. I think their Mount Lombardi is very real. I mean, the football gods do not reward tankers. They just don't. I mean, in fact, they do it. Look at this. I mean, tank for Marv. How is that going? Tank for Marv. It's blown up in the Cardinals' face. And for someone to say, let's do this all over again, means he hasn't learned anything, or the team hasn't learned anything. I mean, did Liam Cohen come into Jacksonville and say, let's blow this whole thing up and tank for whomever? No, he took a team and tried to win with them. And look what he's doing. How about Ben Johnson? You have 1-year wonders going on this year. And you had a 1-year wonder in Dan Quinn last year. They've fallen off this year, but I think they'll be back next year.
If you read, can you put Odegaard's ridiculous thought process comment back up? Thank you. So he says the only prudent move is to clean house and tell the next staff it has a tank year to aim for a 2027 rookie. So you're going to bring in a quality staff and you're going to tell them, take your legacy, take everything you know, everything you want to do, and put it on hold for a year so we can maybe get a quarterback. There isn't a decent coach with a decent future, with any kind of integrity, who would do that. Correct. So the best thing to do, Kyle, who's been predicting that they're not going to make any changes, is just to leave the current idiots in-house. If you really want to tank, just leave the team doesn't know how to, coaching staff that doesn't know how to do anything but lose, leave them in-house. So his whole thought process is moronic. Oh, God. Just moronic. I'm sorry. It'll never end. I'm sorry, Odegaard, but you're just not thinking correctly.
It'll never end. And the problem is the fan base buys into this hook,
I have to say, I mean, if he does not fire this staff, this fan base, I like to see him. I like to see how many tickets he's going to sell next year. He might have to give away 60-70% of those tickets. 20% of that stadium yesterday was empty.
Yeah.
People who didn't go to the game tried to sell their tickets and could not.
Oh yeah, let me put that tweet up here. I had this saved a little bit ago, but someone had a good joke that I appreciated.
Game time are going for $6.
Yep, there you go. 2 hours before kickoff, tickets to the Cardinals home finale can be had for the price of a Five Guys cheeseburger from Theo Mackey.
He'd have to give away Five Guys cheeseburgers to get people to drive to that fiasco.
And they slashed it to 6. I know that. I saw just like this.
This is
Ticketmaster had him for 6. And you're right, it was like 20% empty. And you know who else wasn't there yesterday? How symbolic. The last home game of the year. A guy who was photographed on his own boat with his feet up during the week. And who showed up at the Oklahoma game on Saturday. And then called in sick yesterday to the Cardinals. Sorry, I'm sick. I'm not coming to the game.
Oh, Kyler
Murray.
Kyler Murray. Well, he's where he should be. He's where he should be. His teammates did miss him, I'll guarantee it.
This seems to be kind of what they agreed to. Like the putting him on IR thing, it seemed inconspicuous at the time, but it's just they're protecting their money in case he gets hurt again, and they don't want to pay the guarantees going into next year if they can't cut him. So they're both just protecting their money.
You mean they don't want that great locker room guy around the team when things are going bad? Mr. Locker Room, Mr. Teammate, Mr. Rah-Rah, Mr. Plugged In. He's where he should be, on a boat somewhere away from this football team. He adds nothing but bad.
Well, like they say, that ship has sailed.
There you go.
That ship has sailed mercifully.
Yeah.
This has been
taking
the worst
water.
7 years of my football life. I have not, and I was the guy, now I regret it, who was like, got to draft Kyler over, because he's a much better player than Josh Rosen. I think I got that part of it right. Unfortunately, Josh, I don't think had the right makeup to be good in the NFL.
Great kid, though.
And now he's an investment banker.
That's what he's
coming out of the school of Wharton, which
really smart.
He'll have a good productive life. But with Kyler, it was small sample size of 1 year. I still couldn't believe he only played one full year of college football.
Yeah.
And I thought that could be a red flag, but then I saw
Should have been.
Yeah, but man, come year 3 in the antics, I couldn't support him anymore. I mean, as a football guy, when a player doesn't go out on the field with his players and refuses, that's it. I mean, that's a condition. I mean, look at Devondre Campbell when he did that to the 49ers. You know where Devondre Campbell is now? Probably on his own boat somewhere. And his quote after doing this to the 49ers was, "I'm rich. I don't have to play anymore." And that strikes me as something that Kyler might consider.
No, he should.
I mean, I don't think it's a given. I'm sure he won't come back to a situation that he doesn't think is right. I don't know. I don't know what's going through Kyler's head. But I do know that the way he treated his situation in Arizona, the way I will always feel is when he scrubbed his Cardinals socials, he scrubbed my ever believing in him. That was it. I couldn't take it. And I've had to sit there and try to talk sense to Cardinal fans to try to look at the red flags and the preposterous argument that you have to give Kyler his bag. There's no other choice when you have a guy signed to 2 more years. And by the way, he's scheduled to make $36 million on those 2 years guaranteed. That's not exactly chump change. I mean, it's not like poor Kyler isn't making money, but make him earn it. I mean, make it. He hadn't finished one season strong. If I can go on and on and on about that. You guys already have heard it a million times over, and many of you have who watch this show. So you know where I am on that. It's not personal; it's professional. Right. I mean, it's how you know. Personally, I was appalled by the behavior, but I don't wish Kyler ill will.
I do.
You know, he can. You know. And I know he was in a difficult situation in Arizona to a degree, but he had it pretty made in the shade with an offensive coach who absolutely believed in everything about him and wanted to be, you know, the coach that makes him, you know, aspire to grab the brass rings, the golden rings. And for a while there, for 2.5 years, it was trending right in that direction. But I don't blame Cliff at all for what happened afterwards. What I do blame him for is, you know, having the same agent and being stuck in a position where Cliff couldn't be choosy or chose not to be choosy. Because Cliff is big enough of a football guy to know that when a player walks out on his team, especially in a situation like that in LA, when JJ Watt busted his ass to come back in heroic, Herculean fashion, when Buda Baker was carried off in a gurney, and you refused to go back in with your teammates at the end of that game, that is despicable. I mean, that is unforgivable kind of football behavior. You just know that's going to tear a football team apart. And it did. And then you're rewarding the guy who anyway, you guys know where I'm coming from. Final thoughts. Kyle, let's start with you.
Well, I think to kind of the tanking point, because I didn't really get to chat much on that, it's the idea of like the difference between the number 1 pick and the number 8 pick in the modern NFL is not much. I mean, if you're getting one of the uber and positional value ends up changing where players get picked and things like that. But in the new day and age, the difference between pick 1 and pick 8 is not that tremendous in the NFL. You're going to get incredibly talented players no matter what. And it's the same thing I talk about with coaching too, is like the best testament of whether or not you're able to do a rebuild is whether you have someone in charge who knows what they're doing. There is no direct path to rebuild, but people who know what they're doing and have a vision tend to be the ones who end up having success. That's kind of the tried and true path throughout most of the NFL. I mean, I don't know if Liam Cohen knows what he's doing in Jacksonville, but I do know that they traded 3 first-round picks for a guy who is not playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars in Travis Hunter. And they've gone on a 11-4 season with multiple 4-game win streaks and things like that. So again, it's about having people in charge who know what they are doing and have a clear vision for what they're doing. And you know, I'll give the Seahawks their flowers as they have a chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Right. I would not have had the gumption to move on from your future Hall of Fame coach, quarterback, offensive coordinator, and star wide receiver in the span of like 12 months. And right. In the case of Seattle, you know, they traded Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, and fired Ryan Grubb in a span of like, I don't know, like 3 months or something like that. I would not have had the gumption to make all those changes that they did. And they did, and they're being rewarded for them. Not because I think Sam Darnold is inherently this much greater than whatever Geno Smith was at his best, but they had a vision for what they were doing. They executed that vision. And in an NFL where so many teams don't have visions of what they're doing, you can supplant other teams that maybe don't have the same vision or make mistakes similar to what we've seen all year from the Arizona Cardinals. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it, is that talent is talent. And over the years, you've seen top picks bust. You've seen top picks become great. You've seen guys get talent later in drafts they didn't think would be there. And teams without top picks have been able to compete. Teams with top picks have been able to compete. It's about talent, developing talent, and having vision for how those players are going to work in your organization, how those coaches are going to work in your organization, and how your front office people are going to work within your organization. That's usually the telltale sign for success in the NFL, and really all sports. I talk about this a lot with the Sacramento Kings too in my day job, but it's the telltale sign of a successful organization is having vision and people in charge who know what they are doing. And that doesn't have anything to do. You're going to get talented players either way. Walter's making the case the Cardinals have incredibly talented players right now. They're just not being developed correctly or put in positions to succeed. And I would lean closer to him on that than where they were, say, in 2023, where they were rolling out the Josh Dobbs and the undrafted rookies and a lot of the Cliff holdovers. They have more talent certainly now than when they were 3-12 in 2023. So that's kind of the telltale sign. There's no formula to do this. It's more so you fall into the picks, you fall into the quarterbacks, you fall into the talent, and you develop it from there.
Awesome. Sam?
Yeah, it was awesome. And as he's talking about vision and the process of developing talent, I'm reminded of that masterpiece we saw Thursday night between the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yes.
What a brilliant, entertaining, hard-fought football game by two fabulous, aggressive, continuously competitive franchises. Vision and the process of developing talent that we do not possess. And I don't see any change next year unless we clean house.
Right.
We have an owner who has zero vision. Zero. We have an owner who has zero football acumen and knowledge.
Right.
He fired Cliff Kingsbury after four loss season. He fired Steve Wilkes after 3 win seasons. We have a 3-win season. What's he going to do? You know what he's going to do? Nothing, because he owes 2 coaches and a general manager salaries. That's his vision. So we're going to play the Bengals next week. That is a highfalutin, high-scoring offense. I can't wait to see them against this defense, this terrible fourth quarter defense. I can't wait to see that. I hope Joe Burrow has a field day. And as far as maybe lucking into a fourth win because the Rams are going to rest their starters, anticipating a first-round bye, that ain't happening. And I hope McVay just lays it on, because if we get slaughtered again, and that 2 more teams put 30, 40 points on us, and we don't score more than 20, I want to see Michael Bidwell tell the world he's keeping this staff. That tells us all what we need to know, that all we'll ever know, and what we've learned from Michael Bidwell since he's taken over this team.
Right. Really well said, both of you guys. You guys are awesome. I mean, the reason why the Seahawks are in first place is they had the temerity to say there are other options. There are other choices. And talk about vision. So what Sam's been saying about vision and what Kyle was saying about vision. Mike McDonald has a vision. And, Ryan Grubb wasn't that bad. They were second in the league in passing. But it just wasn't clicking for him. He had something else in mind. And you got to say, Kubiak's way better than Ryan Grubb. I mean, especially as an NFL coach. So, when you do have other options, but you have the plan to go with it, this is what both Kyle and Sam are saying. That's what the Cardinals need. Whether we get it or not, and whether we have the capacity to get it or not, whether the owner is willing to finally put someone in charge of football operations, like Sam's been saying all year, to put this in the right hands and to step aside and write the checks. Until that happens, probably we're going to see more of the same. So it's got to start there. And I'm hoping it happens. I'm hoping that, he's going to have a aha moment where, I hope he calls Ernie DeCourcy again to ask him about a coach. Because Cliff came with the know-how that we needed. He probably didn't have the gravitas coming straight from college necessarily, but knowledge breeds confidence. And, and I remember players saying about him in practice, they're like, wow, this guy pulls out stuff and he gets guys open. But there's going to be, hopefully, Bidwell consults the right person, like an Ernie DeCourcy again, and gets a guy, and I'm hoping someone with experience this time around, because grabbing guys out of college, and then like this staff's been doing, and now they're going back to college. What does that say? After, in Coach Debo's case, 1 year. Wow. So, and then you have, I think Patrick Toney's going to join Lane Kiffin. That's part of the rumor. But anyway, it's Christmas this week. I just was so feeling down after the game yesterday, and I didn't want to blast anyone, being it's Christmas. So what I tweeted out was, and I really meant this in all sincerity, was that, there were the bright spots yesterday, in my eyes. Running backs, Michael Carter, Amari DiMercato, Corey Kiner. God, love that kid. Wide receivers, Michael Wilson, Xavier Weaver, a couple big plays. Tight end Elijah Higgins. Offensive line, running game, 132 yards, 5.7 yards per carry. Where's that been? That's really impressive. Center guard John Gaines, whose versatility and whose balling is just jumping off the tape. Darius Robinson, maybe his best game as a Cardinal, was penetrating, was around the football. Dalvin Tomlinson, where you been, buddy? You show up yesterday in time for the last home game. You made a distinguished impact on the game, which we haven't seen all year. Special team blocking expert Calais Campbell, unbelievable how he does that. Edge Zaven Collins, some big ass plays in that game. Edge BJ Ojolari, who got the 1 sack. Good to see. Cody Simon, who I thought made some really, really great plays, not only in coverage, but filling as a linebacker. I think his game's starting to come. I give Akeem Davis Gaither credit for 11 tackles. Little rough in some other spots, but anytime on a weak tackling team you get 11, I'm going to give you credit. And Denzel Burke, cornerback, leading the way, cornerbacks for us, 5th round rookie. Budda Baker, I thought had a really good game. and because they played him up in the box this time, thank goodness. And then because they had the rabbit back, Dadrion Taylor Demerson, who I thought played really hard and also made some plays. So I'm hoping for the very best for Garrett Williams, Josh Sweat, and Walter Nolan. Let's hope that those injuries are not as, with Williams, it's an Achilles. Hoping that he can get on top of that ASAP and work his way back so he can play next year and play at the top of his ability. The guy's a major talent. Josh Sweat looked like he got an ankle. Thank God it wasn't worse. If you saw his knee being bent back, whoa. But unfortunately, it looks like the knee's fine. It's the ankle that got twisted up. Hopefully that's, I saw him go back in the game. He's been great, Josh Sweat. He's been really great. And then Walter Nolan looks like an ACL the way he was holding it. Just so sad. Just something all year wasn't right about him. And I don't know what the source was. Strikes me that he's got to lose some weight and get in better shape. But having knee injuries and calf injuries don't help. So there's got to be a plan with the rehab and getting in shape and losing some weight, because this guy is a major league talent. And in light of all that, I'm wishing all of you, the Cardinals players, a happy Hanukkah and a Merry Christmas. My buddies, Little Rock is down in San Diego. So cool. He's down there for the weekend. And then, of course, Sam the Man is in Mexico on a little retreat. Boy, I could just smell the ocean right now. Is it outside your window?
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a pool too?
No, just the beach, just the ocean.
Just the beach? Oh, you're roughing. Oh, I love it. Fantastic. Well, Merry Christmas, my friends. Happy holidays, and have a great week. And so we'll see you again next Monday, New Year's Eve week, and same time, same bat channel. And thanks to all of you. It's been a really fun year. We got 2 more games, so let's keep talking about our Cardinals and how one day the Super Bowl confetti could shower into the Red Sea. Red rain.